So folks, there's some unexpected news coming out of OpenAI, and it's a real surprise given what they've got planned this year with their frontier models. Let's dive into what's happening because I think this caught a lot of people off guard, as there were no signs that anyone would need to leave OpenAI. So let's take a closer look. First off, The Information, a very well-known service that regularly dishes out industry insights, especially from top tech companies, always has good scoops. They reported that a trio of OpenAI leaders are departing and taking a leave of absence. Now, it's no small thing when 3 of OpenAI's key figures and leaders are leaving, especially during a year when they're building so much momentum. So here's what's happening, folks. Greg Brockman, OpenAI's president and one of the 11 co-founders, is taking an extended leave of absence. Another co-founder and key leader, John Schulman, has moved to Anthropic, a fierce rival started by ex-OpenAI researchers. And Peter Deng, a product leader who joined last year after working at Meta, Uber, and Airtable, has also left, according to someone with direct knowledge of the situation. We've got an incredible number of people leaving OpenAI, with some even heading to Anthropic. You know, folks, this is noteworthy because I thought OpenAI wouldn't have had any more drama for a while. Remember, after all the previous upheaval, it seemed like they very specifically structured their board. I mean, I thought any issues would have been sorted out then and there, but now we're seeing people deciding to leave OpenAI yet again. Now, the reason why this is so impactful is that Greg Brockman, one of the key people at OpenAI, is the co-founder and current president. Greg Brockman made a statement on Twitter saying, "I'm taking a sabbatical through the end of the year. The first time to relax since co-founding OpenAI 9 years ago. The mission is far from complete. We still have a safe AGI to build." Okay, so he's taking some time off. However, I'm not entirely convinced he's coming back to OpenAI, and let me break down why. Have a look at this tweet from Andrej Karpathy. He worked at Tesla for several years, doing remarkable research and innovation. In 2022, he tweeted that he was taking some time off to rest and travel after almost 5 years at Tesla. He said he'd be excited to come back to all the robots and have them at his fingertips again. Elon Musk even responded, saying Andrej was on a 4-month sabbatical. But after that sabbatical, Andrej didn't return to Tesla. Now, you might be wondering, why am I comparing Greg Brockman to Andrej Karpathy? It's just that when someone at a top tech company announces a sabbatical on Twitter, recent examples show there's a possibility they might not come back. And if that's true, the implications for OpenAI could be devastating. Greg Brockman isn't just any leader who walks around giving orders. He's what we call a 10 times engineer. For those unfamiliar, that's Silicon Valley slang for a programmer who is 10 times as productive as the average worker. Even if Greg is taking an extended absence, it's quite concerning, especially with OpenAI already facing a slew of departures. Others who have worked with him have described him as a 10 times engineer. Aravind Srinivas, who worked at Google and OpenAI before founding Perplexity, describes Greg Brockman in an interesting way, saying he's the hardest working person at OpenAI. So we have to ask ourselves, if the hardest working person at OpenAI, who can write software from scratch, code at the deepest levels, and fundamentally understand all the systems, is leaving, what's going on at OpenAI that warranted this? I mean, you can't help but think that something is up. And this is made even more concerning considering that many individuals have left OpenAI earlier this year. It'll be fascinating to see how OpenAI continues to operate effectively, given that one of their key members is on sabbatical and, well, the others have left. Now, the other news is just as important because it's quite pertinent. So take a look at this. John Schulman, who was pivotal in the creation of ChatGPT, made a statement. He said, "I've shared the following note with my OpenAI colleagues today. I've made the difficult decision to leave OpenAI. This choice stems from my desire to deepen my focus on AI alignment and to start a new chapter of work where I can return to hands-on technical work." Now, the part that made me sit up is that he says, "I've decided to pursue this goal at Anthropic." I mean, it's pretty damning. Someone who played a key role in creating ChatGPT is leaving to pursue this goal at a rival firm. He continues, where I believe I can gain new perspectives and do research alongside people deeply engaged with the topics I'm most interested in. And to be clear, he concludes by saying, I'm not leaving due to a lack of support for alignment research at OpenAI. On the contrary, my company leaders have been very committed to investing in this area. My decision is a personal one based on how I want to focus my efforts in the next phase of my career. Now, this snippet here is probably the most impactful segment because a really integral part of OpenAI's team has suddenly left to join Anthropic. Now, this isn't a safety issue, which is arguably more concerning. Safety issues are one thing, and some people could argue that these systems aren't that smart yet. But leaving because you believe you can have a better time or more hands-on technical work at another company is rather surprising. He finishes off by saying, I'm proud of what we've all achieved together at OpenAI, building an unusual and unprecedented company with a public benefit mission. I get too much credit for ChatGPT. And yet for all him saying that, he's still leaving for a rival firm. With him, Greg Brockman, and the VP of Product Lead leaving, it suggests there might be internal issues at OpenAI causing these senior members to depart. And like I mentioned before, we're not really sure if Greg Brockman is ever coming back. Now, I know, not the sort of news that you want to hear, especially with a few months left before a possible frontier model release. If we look at the wider situation, just this year alone, 14 high-profile individuals have left for other teams and startups. Ilya Sutskever, the co-founder and chief scientist, left in May. He's one of the most important people, described as the linchpin to OpenAI's success. Jan Leiker, the co-leader of the Superalignment Group, left in May. John Schulman left in August to join Anthropic. Greg Brockman is taking this extended leave. Deng, VP of Consumer Product. Daniel Kokoteo left in February. William Saunders, Superalignment, left in February too. Leonard Aschenbrenner, Superalignment as well. Pavel Ismailov, member of the Superalignment team, he was fired. Evan Morikawa, lead engineer, left after 3.5 years. Logan Gilpatrick left for Google. Diane Yoon, VP of People, left in May. Andrej Karpathy left in March. And of course, Chris Clark. This is a remarkable list of individuals. These aren't just standard operations folks. These were really integral to the company. So I'm wondering how OpenAI is managing to fill these roles, as it's a very difficult thing to do considering some of these people, they're pretty much irreplaceable. And with the current state of the AI market, talent is highly sought after and very competitive. Salaries are being thrown around and up to retain talent, so I'm truly wondering how OpenAI is going to navigate through this. That's it, folks. Let me know in the comments what you think of this story, because I think it has pretty serious ramifications. See you in the next one, folks. You all take care.